Hello, my dear friends. Dr. Harold Benson here, a physician with over 30 years of experience treating elderly patients. Today, I'd like to talk to you about a product that many of us underestimate, even though it can be a true over-the-counter medicine. It's a product you can buy in almost any store. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but it provides the body with something no pill can. I'm talking about fish. You might be wondering, fish? Is that anything unusual? After all, many of us have it on our tables. But let me ask you, how often do you actually eat fish? Once a week? Once a month? Or perhaps even rarely, because you find it expensive, difficult to prepare, or because you think you can live without it? This is where the big mistake lies. My friends, fish is the food that can protect the heart and brain, the two most vulnerable organs for people over 60. After all, the heart is the engine of our body. Without it, life is impossible. And the brain is our personality, our memory, our experience, our character. Losing heart health means losing activity and freedom. Losing brain health means losing yourself. Why am I raising this topic now? Because statistics show that after age 60, the risk of cardiovascular disease increases sharply. 1 in 3 people at this age experiences hypertension. 1 in 5 experiences coronary heart disease, and 1 in 6 experiences memory and attention problems, which can eventually develop into dementia. And all of this sounds scary. But there's good news. These processes can be influenced, and one of the simplest ways is to change your diet. When I first started working as a doctor, over 30 years ago, I often heard elderly patients complain of fatigue, blood pressure, and forgetfulness. And, most of them had a very monotonous diet. Lots of bread and potatoes, mostly fried meat, and vegetables only on holidays. Fish? No. Fish was considered a luxury or baby food. But over the decades, science has made huge strides. We've learned to study how foods affect the body, what substances they contain, and what they do to our cells. And it turns out that fish is a true treasure trove of health. It contains special substances called omega-3 fatty acids. Have you heard of them? They're not just a buzzword from advertising. Omega-3 is a building block for our brain cells, protects blood vessels from damage, and fights inflammation, which can damage the heart and joints from the inside. Scientists have proven that people who regularly eat fish are 30% less likely to suffer from heart attacks and strokes. They have better memory, a slower onset of age-related dementia, stronger joints, and even better vision. And that's not all. Fish contains vitamin D, which most people over 60 lack. Vitamin D is responsible for strong bones, a strong immune system, and protection against depression. Fish also contains iodine, a crucial element for the thyroid gland, which regulates metabolism. It also contains selenium, a powerful antioxidant that protects cells from aging. It also contains easily digestible protein, which is essential for muscle and tissue repair. You'll agree, it sounds like we're looking at not just a food product, but a whole pharmaceutical kit created by nature itself. But unlike pills, fish doesn't have a long list of side effects. What's more, it gives us the pleasure of taste. Now let's think about why fish becomes especially important after age 60. It's simple. Our bodies age, cells renew themselves more slowly, blood vessels lose elasticity, the heart works under strain, and the brain processes information less effectively. What we could compensate for with robust health in our youth becomes a weak link after 60. The slightest disruption can lead to serious consequences. And during this period, it's especially important not only to get treatment, but also to eat right, so that food becomes an ally, not an enemy. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a brick house. Over time, the bricks begin to crumble, the masonry loses its strength, and the roof begins to crack. What happens if you do nothing? The house gradually deteriorates, but if you patch the roof, strengthen the walls, and replace the old beams in time, the house will stand for decades to come. It's the same with our bodies. Fish is one of those repair materials that helps our bodies remain strong and reliable for longer. And here's another important point. Many of you may say, "Doctor, so what? I'm already taking blood pressure medication, heart medication, and vitamins. Why do I need fish on top of that?" My friends, medications treat illness, but they don't always prevent it. Fish, however, works as a preventative measure. It strengthens your body before illness develops. And that's precisely its main value. Today, I want to show you that a simple habit eating fish, at least twice a week, can become your personal insurance policy against heart and brain problems. In the main part of the video, I'll share real-life stories of my patients who changed their diets and felt the difference. You'll learn which fish is the healthiest, how to cook it properly, how much to eat, and what mistakes many older adults make when choosing this food. Stay with me until the end, and you'll understand. Health doesn't always require expensive medications and complicated procedures. Sometimes it starts with a simple choice at the store. Not an extra loaf of bread or sausage, but a piece of fish. Before I tell you the stories of my patients, let's figure out what exactly makes fish so unique for health after 60. Fish is a source of special nutrients that are difficult to obtain from other foods. First and foremost, I'm talking about omega-3 fatty acids. These acids are essential components of cell membranes, especially in the brain and nervous system. When omega-3 levels are low, cells transmit signals poorly, memory declines, irritability develops, and the risk of inflammation increases. But when omega-3 levels are sufficient, the brain functions more efficiently, mood improves, and blood vessels become more elastic. Scientists have conducted numerous studies. One of the most famous is a study of residents of the Mediterranean and Japan. People there traditionally eat a lot of fish, and these regions are home to the highest life expectancy and lowest rates of cardiovascular disease. In Japan, for example, men and women often maintain their activity, memory, and vitality after age 80, and if you ask them the secret, you'll always find fish in their diet. Now, let's turn to real practice. Story 1. Mr. John, 70 years old. This man came to me complaining of high blood pressure and constant fatigue. He was taking medication, but his blood pressure still fluctuated. When we analyzed his diet, it turned out that fish appeared in it at most once a month. He mostly ate meat, potatoes, and pasta, and for protein, he preferred sausages and hot dogs. I suggested a simple change. Replace meat with fish twice a week. He could bake a piece of salmon, steam mackerel, or even use canned sardines without excess salt and oil. 3 months later, John came back to see me. His blood pressure had become more stable. He noticed he was able to handle stress better, and his heart palpitations were no longer waking him up at night. Lab tests showed that his triglyceride levels had dropped, meaning his risk of developing dangerous cholesterol plaques had decreased. And all thanks to the fish. Story 2. Mrs. Helen, 68. This woman came to me with a different problem. Forgetfulness. She often forgot where she'd left her glasses and couldn't remember the names of her neighbors, even though she'd known them for years. She was frightened. "Doctor, is this the beginning of dementia?" "En tort. Of course, we conducted a full examination to rule out serious illnesses, but in her case, lifestyle played a major role. Helen's diet contained virtually no foods containing omega-3. We created a meal plan for her, fatty fish twice a week, plus walnuts and flaxseed. After just 6 months, she told me, "Doctor, I can read books again and remember the plots. I've become more confident behind the wheel. I'm less nervous, and I sleep better." Scientific research confirms that regular fish consumption reduces the risk of Alzheimer's disease by 20–30%. Story 3. Mr. Paul, 75. Paul had suffered from joint pain for many years. He had difficulty climbing stairs and often complained of stiffness in the mornings. When we started discussing nutrition, it turned out he was eating very few anti-inflammatory foods. I recommended including fish and trying to replace some red meat with salmon or herring. After a few months, Paul noticed his pain had subsided, his movements became easier, and he even returned to his habit of taking evening walks. This is because omega-3s reduce inflammation in the body, which means they help joints function better. Why is fish so beneficial after 60 years? Heart and blood vessels. Omega-3s reduce bad cholesterol and increase good cholesterol. They thin the blood, reducing the risk of blood clots. Brain. Fatty acids protect neurons from damage and improve signal transmission. This helps maintain mental clarity for longer. Bones and muscles. Fish is rich in vitamin D, which is essential for calcium absorption and strong bones. Fish protein is easily digestible and helps maintain muscle mass. Immunity. Selenium and iodine support thyroid and immune system function. Not all fish is created equal. Fatty varieties are especially beneficial for heart and brain health. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring, trout. These types contain the most omega-3. But even lean fish, cod, pike perch, hake, are also beneficial. They provide protein, vitamins, and minerals. It's important to remember, frying in large amounts of oil destroys the nutritional value of the product. It's best to bake fish in the oven, steam cooking, cook, stew with vegetables. Add a little lemon juice, garlic, herbs, and the taste will be amazing even without extra salt. The World Health Organization recommends at least 2 to 3 servings of fish per week. That's approximately 300–450 grams. But don't overeat. A moderate amount is enough to reap the benefits. Canned fish can also be healthy, especially sardines or tuna in their own juice. But always pay attention to the salt and oil content. It's better to choose options without unnecessary additives. If you don't have access to fish often, you can add other sources of omega-3 to your diet: flaxseed, chia, and walnuts. But it's important to remember, fish oil is the best absorbed. Dear friends, today we've seen for ourselves. Fish isn't just food. It's one of the most important foods for health after age 60. It embodies the power of nature, helping us care for our hearts, maintain mental clarity, and stay energetic, regardless of age. We've seen from my patients that changes are real. Mr. John was able to stabilize his blood pressure and felt a surge of energy. Mrs. Helen stopped worrying about forgetfulness and regained her confidence. Mr. Paul regained his ease of movement and the joy of walking. And all this wasn't thanks to miracle pills, but to a simple habit, including fish in his diet. Remember the main thing. Fish strengthens the heart and blood vessels, improves brain function and memory, supports joints and immunity, provides the body with essential vitamins and minerals. You don't have to do anything complicated. Just cook fish 2 or 3 times a week. It could be baked salmon with lemon, simple herring with boiled potatoes, a light fish soup, or even canned sardines in their own juice. The key is consistency. I want each of you to understand. Health isn't just about medications and doctor's appointments. It's about small daily steps that add up to big results. The decision you make at the dinner table today can impact how you feel in 5, 10, even 20 years. So, friends, choose your heart and brain. Give yourself extra time to spend with loved ones, to take walks, to enjoy life. And may fish be your faithful ally on this journey. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Tell us in the comments, how often do you eat fish, and what's your favorite? I'd love to read your stories. This was Dr. Harold Benson. Take care of yourself, take care of your heart, and take care of your brain. After all, they are what make us alive, energetic, and authentic. And health, my friends, is your greatest asset.